I'd like to call the Waterworks Board meeting to order for January 17th. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Roll call, Mr. Troxel.
Yes, Mr. President. Councilman Rob Getzloff.
Present.
Councilwoman Robin Arvanitis.
Here.
Councilman Kevin Conley.
Present.
Councilman Caleb Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Thomas Schmidt.
Here.
Attorney David Austin.
Present.
Fire Chief Robert Patterson. Deputy Fire Chief David Meyer. Police Chief Pete Sormas.
Here.
Deputy Police Chief Steve McNamara. Park Superintendent John Novosich. IT Robbie Hansen. East Engineering Neil Simstad. Public Works Director Chad Nondorf. Director of Operations Andy Hansen.
Here.
Town Manager Jim Gorman.
Here.
Recording Secretary Robin Teal. And Clerk Treasurer Michael Troxel here.
Thank you. The Water Board consists of three members, myself, Councilwoman Robin Arvanitis, and Councilman Kevin Conley. So at this time, we will exclude Councilman Tom Schmidt and Councilman Caleb Johnson. Minutes of the December 13th, 2023 and December 27th, 2000, is that correct? 22, it should be 23, no? Pardon?
23.
23, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Pleasure of the board.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved, 3-0. Claims, any additional claims, Mr. Troxel?
Mr. President, there's one additional claim, it's a small one. It's to Liberty Mutual for $50. And it just came in today, but it has a date due by the 30th of this month, so.
Okay, thank you. Pleasure of the board.
Motion to approve claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 3-0. Any reports from staff?
No reports.
Any reports from water board members? Okay, there is no.
Report.
Okay. There is no old business, no new business. Any business from the floor regarding waterworks? Any business from the floor regarding waterworks? Any business from the floor regarding waterworks? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. We'll go into the redevelopment meeting.
Call to order the Redevelopment Commission meeting for Wednesday, January 17th, 2024. The time is 7:07 p.m. Redevelopment Commission is comprised of the entire council. We'll bring in council members Tom Schmidt and Caleb Johnson. And we have our advisor here from the Lake Central School Board, Nicole Kelly. Hello, Nicole. Thanks for being here. First item, minutes of the December 13th, 2023 and December 27th, 2023 public meetings.
So move.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Claims, any additional claims?
No additional claims, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Troxel.
Motion to pay the claims?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Passes 5-0. Any reports from staff?
No reports.
Thank you. Any reports from council members on redevelopment?
None.
None.
All right, thank you all. We don't have any old business. We have one item under new business. This is consider acceptance of engagement letter of dissemination or for dissemination agent services for annual continuing disclosure filings from LWG CPAs, $3,500 annually. This is a joint engagement letter, including the town council. Mr. Troxel.
Yes, Mr. President, this London Witty Group has been doing our filings to the SEC and the IRS in reference to our bonds that we have. It's an annual filing and disclosure. They've been doing it for years. They just gave us an engagement letter this year just for their services they'll be doing. So that's why it's new this year.
Okay, pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
Yeah, this is Mr. Clerk Treasurer, this is a slight increase from previous years, right?
It is. The normal for the two issuance was 1,500 each normally. It's now 1,750 each. So it went from 3,000 to 3,500, a little over 8% increase. Thank you.
Everything seems to be going up, but understood.
Yes, thank you for your question.
Any other discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it for the agenda. Any business from the floor? Regarding redevelopment, any business from the floor? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.
I'd like to call to order the Utility Board meeting for Wednesday, January 17th, 2024 at 7:10 PM. The roll call remains the same as the previous meeting of the Redevelopment Commission. First on the agenda are the minutes of the December 13th, 2023 and December 27th, 2023 public meetings.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries 5-0. Next on the agenda is claims. Mr. Troxel, do we have any additional claims?
Yes, Madam President, the same one that was on the water board is for Liberty Mutual for $50.
Motion to approve claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Next on the agenda, we have reports. Are there any reports regarding the Utility Board meeting from the staff?
No reports, Madam President.
No reports. Any council member reports regarding the Utility Board?
None.
One question, I guess, I don't know if it's appropriate at the public meeting here. Do we have any update on the building that we're trying to replace over at the wastewater treatment plant?
Yes, CSK is working on the plans right now. We do have a meeting next week with one of the companies that provide that building. And he's been in contact with the structural engineer, so that is moving along nicely.
All right, terrific, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. There is no old business. There is no new business. Do we have any business from the floor regarding Utility Board meeting? Any business from the floor? Seeing, hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.
Good evening. I'd like to call the Town Council meeting for Wednesday, January 17th at approximately 7:12 PM. The roll call stays the same as the Utility Board, which includes the entire council. First item on the agenda is item 2 is minutes of the December 13th, 2023 and December 27th, 2023 public meetings.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Next item is claims. Any additional claims, Mr. Troxel?
Yes, Mr. President, same one that's we had before for Liberty Mutual for $50.
Motion to approve claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Next item's reports. We'll start to my left. Mr. Robbie Hanson from IT, anything to report? Fire Chief Bob Patterson?
Yes, thank you. I'd just like to... Hey, Bob, can you we're recording.
Sorry about that. Fire department responded to 312 EMS calls, 45 fire-related calls, for a total of 357 calls for the month of December. For the year of 2024, the fire department responded to 4,034 calls. That's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. Deputy Chief?
Nothing to report, sir.
Police Chief Pete Sormaz?
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to report this Monday, January 22nd, the police department's having a swearing-in ceremony for 2 officers from our emergency hire list, and that's going to occur over in the court building at 25 East Joliet Street at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's Monday morning. And I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank the council and the administration for assisting the police department with their rehiring or hiring for emergency hire in regards to our upcoming retirements. So, and particularly, we've been working very closely with the Clerk Treasurer, Mike Troxel, and Jim Gorman. So I'd like to thank you for your support on that.
Thank you, Chief.
Good news.
Deputy Chief Steve McMyer?
No reports.
Park Superintendent John Novosich?
No report.
Our Town Engineer Neil Simstead? Our Public Works Director, Chad Nondor. I do have one question for you, Chad. I saw a notice in the paper about shutting down Sunset Boulevard starting next week.
Yeah, there's going to be a stormwater control project on Sunset Boulevard, and it will be closed from Lakeview Drive to Schilling Drive for approximately about a month in time. So all through traffic into Schilling from Route 30 area will have to access through St. John Road, entrance to Schilling subdivision.
Okay. And on that recommendation, Mr. Sormaz, can you make note with your patrol people that Sunset Boulevard will be closed? So that's going to increase the traffic heavily on Lakeview Drive, cutting over to St. John Road to be able to come into Schilling on the backside.
Absolutely. Chad already disseminated the emails and has notified us.
Okay. Thank you. Operation Manager, Annie Hanson. No reports. Town Manager, Jim Gorman.
No reports, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any reports from the council?
Mr. President, I just wanted to thank our first responders and everyone that was out there during the cold, working for us while we were all home and warm, and especially let Chad know that I received several emails and texts commending everybody at Public Works for their fantastic job with the snow removal and everything. And your guys that were outside for 8 to 10 hours in the cold with the water break, thank you so much. I mean, the neighbors were, we kept them up to speed on everything that was happening. And it was just, thank you all so much. I can't imagine being outside in what you were all outside in. So thank you to everyone that worked so hard for our town.
Yes, your staff does need to be commended on that. I did stop by on the one on Iris after about the second break that day, and those are long, cold days, so they should be commended for their work. Any other comments from the council? No other comments? We'll move right in. Is there any public comments regarding agenda items? Open to the floor for public comments regarding agenda items. Closed to the public. We'll move right into old business. Item A is ordinance 2001, an ordinance establishing procedures and authorizing advance payment of a specific expenses for the town of Schererville, repealing all ordinance and town code provisions or parts thereof in conflict herewith and all matters related thereto. This was deferred from our December 8th, 2023 meeting. Mr. Troxel.
I can take that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gorman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I suggest we table this ordinance, which in turn will remove it from the agenda until we have time to review, assess, and see if we actually need this ordinance. There may be some provisions, state laws that already allow us to do what we're trying to do with this ordinance. So more to come on that. If we feel like we need it, we'll get it back on the agenda once we review it with Mr. Troxel, Mr. Austin, and myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gorman.
Mr. President,
Mr. Getzoff.
I'd like to table ordinance number 2001.
Second?
We have a motion to table and a second. Any further discussion?
Nope.
No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0 to table it. Next item is new business. Is item A. We have a public hearing. Mr. Austin, is the proof of publication in order?
Mr. President, they are.
Thank you. And this is on Resolution 2024-1, which is a resolution of the Schererville Town Council to approve a fiscal plan and policy for proposed annexation of a parcel of real property to the town of Schererville in Lake County, Indiana.
Mr. President.
And I know I have to open that to the floor.
You do. May I suggest that Mr. Gorman give a brief explanation?
Okay. Mr. Gorman, you want to give a brief explanation on this?
Yes, sir. So this resolution is the next step in the annexation process, which last month the ordinance was in front of you guys that you approved. This is to ensure that the town can provide utilities when this subdivision is built out. And the second reading of this ordinance, once this is passed, if this is passed, will be on next month's agenda for the second reading. Thank you.
Thank you. And at this time, I'll open it up to the floor if there's any comments on this resolution. Okay. Otherwise, it's Resolution 2024-1 is a resolution of the Schererville Town Council to approve a fiscal plan and policy for the proposed annexation of a parcel of real property to the town of Schererville, Lake County, Indiana. The petitioner is Brian Lance. The location is 12010 West 85th Avenue and 10300 West 85th Avenue, and also a part of 10304 West 85th Avenue.
So, Mr. President, this is a 10.4 acre parcel just on the south side of town, right off of 85th Avenue. The gentleman, Mr. Lance, is annexing it in so that he can build a subdivision. He has not been in front of he has to reappear in front of the Plan Commission at a study session to introduce a 21 lot subdivision.
Thank you.
Mr. President, motion to approve Resolution 2024-1.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Item B is consider the release of a maintenance bond dash cash surety in an amount of $35,769.80 and authorize insurance of the certificate of release for Southland subdivision, Bailey's Cove. Mr. Gorman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, all the utilities have been put in place. They've been inspected and passed, and it is appropriate to release this maintenance bond at this time. This is the subdivision on the south side of 30, just off of Anna Street.
Thank you, Mr. Gorman.
Mr. President, motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Item C is consider acceptance of a change order number 1 from Davis Concrete Construction Company for the 2023 sidewalk connectivity project for $17,085 increase. Mr. Gorman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, this change order was proposed due to additional curbs that went in this sidewalk connectivity project on 77th and on Eagle Ridge Drive, as well as sidewalk improvements at the corner of Willowbrook and Eagle Ridge Drive for pedestrians to cross Eagle Ridge Drive to access the shopping mall right there on 41.
Thank you, Mr. Gorman.
You're welcome.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item D is consider approval of pay request number 1 from Davis Concrete Construction Company for the 2023 sidewalk connectivity project for $372,860. Mr. Gorman.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the one and only pay request. They got the job done pretty quick, so they will only have one pay request. And all the sidewalks have been inspected and signed off on, so it would be appropriate to pay this at this time.
And Mr. Gorman, we'll finish the landscaping in the spring, right?
Yes, we will. And that'll be Public Works.
Okay.
Motion to approve pay request number 1 for Davis Concrete Construction Company for the sidewalk connectivity project, $172,860.
Second.
Caleb, I believe you have the
300.
number wrong, 372,860.
I thought that's what I said.
I think you said 172.
No, I might have, but I thought I said 372.
That's what I heard.
I correct it to say $372,860 if I said it wrong.
Thank you. We have a motion and we have a second on the floor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Item E is consider approval to purchase property located at 6919 West Lincoln Highway, Crown Point, Indiana, from CSK Property LLC in the amount of $75,000 even, and to authorize the town manager, director of operations, clerk treasurer, and town attorney to finalize the execution of the documents. And this has to do with the Ileana Speedway redevelopment. Mr. Gorman.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a 3-acre parcel just east of the Ileana property that we purchased to expand the boundary of the Ileana for park amenities in the future.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Item F is consider repealing the enacted zoning regulations which the Planning Commission recommended via Plan Commission Resolution Number 2023-02. This is a Planning Commission Case 23-9-15 to the Town Council, in which the Town Council was unable to act upon within the mandatory time limit. Mr. Gorman, you'd like to
Thank you.
explain that?
Yeah, the Plan Commission made a favorable recommendation to the Town Council to approve the new zoning regulations. Unfortunately, the Town Council was not able to act upon these regulation and due to a mandatory time limit. So the regulations became effective and if they weren't acted upon. So we have a couple of amendments that we have to do to this ordinance that was passed because of a time limit. So what we'd like to do is repeal this ordinance, go back to the old ordinance, the old zoning ordinance, and then once we make our amendments, send it all back to the Plan Commission for their approval again, and then it'll come back to the council for approval after that. That's what I would suggest is we repeal it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And make note that we do have a public study session scheduled for the 31st.
We do
To discuss
yeah.
the zoning ordinance.
What time is that
those
study
changes.
session, Jim?
Pardon me?
What time is that
I
study
believe it's
session?
at 5.
5.
He's checking his calendar.
I had 5:30. Is it 5?
Yeah, 5:30 maybe.
You know, it is 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30.
Thank you, Jim, for the
Thank you.
information.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Austin.
so the action to be taken,
Yeah.
if this motion is approved, is a rescission and repeal of the current ordinance, which was certified by the Plan Commission to you, and a remand back to the Plan Commission for further review and next assessment, while at the same time restoring and retaining in place the current zoning ordinance.
Just the previous zoning ordinance.
Correct. Well, that's right. Just want,
Thank you.
I hope I helped make it clear.
No, you
Maybe I
didn't.
didn't.
And Jim said the same.
So the motion is to remand back to the Plan Commission, the current ordinance, and then to
Repeal,
ultimately restore the previous ordinance.
yes.
That's my new my
Repealing
amended
the-
motion.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we have a minute of motion on that. We have a second. Any further comments? Any further comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries 5-0. Item G is to consider acceptance of engagement letter for dissemination of agent services for annual continued disclosure filings from LWG CPAs for $3,500 annually. This was a joint engagement letter including redevelopment commission. Mr. Troxel, this is the same that was on the previous meeting?
Yes, Mr. President.
Redevelopment. Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item H is consider acceptance of property and acceptance of deed for the property listed below. This is with the Pensy Trail, bike trail. Brian M. Buff, 8735 Calhoun Place for $3,564. Mr. Gorman.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the last property acquisition along the Pensy Trail for Phase 4. So this will complete those 8 properties that or the other 7 that we previously purchased. This is the last one. So that'll complete that transaction.
Thank you.
Motion to approve acceptance of property and acceptance of deed for the property listed below.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Item I is consider accepting contract between the town of Schererville and Austin Kuiper and Jositis PC Law Firm, which is our town attorney.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh, Mr. Gorman?
I don't think we need an explanation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Austin. Item J, consider acceptance of contract between the town of Schererville and Nice Engineering Incorporated. Mr. Gorman?
This one we need to debate. Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Nice Engineering is our town attorney. And we have a
Engineer.
I'm sorry, our town engineer, excuse me.
He acts like a lawyer sometimes, though.
Right. And we have a motion, we have a second to accept the contract between the town of Schererville and Nice Engineering. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Thank you. Item K is consider acceptance of contract between the town of Schererville and Burke, Costanza, and Carberry Law Firm. Mr. Gorman, can you explain what boards they cover for us?
Sure. This is an annual contract between Burke, Costanza, and Carberry. They represent us for the commissions for BZA, Plan Commission, Park Board, and the Board of Safety.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item L is consider acceptance of donations for $640. Mr. Troxel, could we have the privilege of you reading those for us?
Thank you, Mr. President. We received three donations. The first one was from a Susan Isaacson to the Animal Control area for $100. The donation came also to the Canine Fund, the Schererville Police Department canine donation, $40. And the Clifford Purnell donated to the Police Equipment Fund, $500 for a total of $640 for the month of December.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on donations. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. At this time, we'll open up to the floor. Any business from the floor? Any comments from the floor? Please step up and say your name and address.
Hello. My name is Joe Jackson. I'm the store manager for the Lowe's in Schererville. I was just wanted to introduce myself to the town council. We're here to serve and support the community. And definitely thank the fire department, police department for their continued support and definitely being out there in the cold, as you mentioned.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. Any other business from the floor? Any other business from the floor? As we stated earlier, we do have a study session scheduled for January 31st to discuss the zoning ordinance. Otherwise, have a good night. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.